On the question number 2, you said the best set. The question was, what's the best set ever made? You said the Megacracks 2004. Let me say one thing. I agree with you. I mean, I've been saying that for at this point almost years, and I think that set is super iconic. The reason I say it, and I will give you the word in a moment, is I think it's important for a set to have a Holy Grail card, because automatic there is a lot of attention to that set. And even then, if you think there is another great rookie, Sergio Ramos is one of the best defenders ever, also being having a rookie there. And if you think about that set, I mean, so many people that end up winning Ballon d'Or, Zidane, Ronaldo, Michael Owen, Messi. It was just an insane, Ronaldinho, of course, was just an insane moment in time in Spain. Spain have been quite strong, to be fair, because after that, they end up having the Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi era. So I agree with you. I think Megacracks is, at least for a league set, I don't think there is a lot of competition being real. I think if you want to put national teams, I think there is a couple. 2006 World Cup is actually the Panini cards. That set is actually quite beautiful in my perspective. So it's a strong contender. But I don't know. I think I relate players more with the club than I relate with the national team. So I would love to know your thoughts on that. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and I think what you said earlier is really key for me. It's the fact that the set has to have one of the holy grails in it. And so when we talk about 2006 Panini World Cup, while the Messi and Ronaldo cards are valuable in that set and sought after, they're not holy grail cards in any sense, because there's too many of them. It's not a rookie season, and there's a bunch of different reasons why they're not as good as 2004. But exactly. So that said, that's why I wouldn't put it up there. And so the only other one I would consider would be the Alifa set. But the problem with that set is the fact that outside of the Pele and the Garrincha, I might get hate from vintage collectors here, but there's no other relevant cards in that set. Like, I'm sorry.
It's different, right? It's different.
Yeah, it's a different sort of relevance.
And so, even the product for Megacracks is just a better product. I mean, we can see there is some, I will not say technology, but things are a little bit more ahead on 2004. And actually, I like the design of those cards quite a lot. I actually think it's one of the best Megacracks sets ever made. Even if I take the Messi out of the set, I really like the design. Actually, not related with this question, but not part of the total question that I end up asking you, in this case 10. What do you think about the sale of Ronaldinho Megacracks 2004, a PSA 9, I believe, sold for $800? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I remember that when it got listed on eBay for $1,800, and I thought to myself, that's the highest graded Ronaldinho Megacracks that I'd seen in a couple years, I think, listed on eBay, whether it be for auction or buy it now. So when it was listed for $1,800, I thought, it's high, but it might actually get there, just because you never see these come up. And so when it sold for $800, I thought, yeah, I mean, it makes some sense to me. In terms of the set, that's easily one of the top 3-5 cards in the set. And if the set is going to be the most iconic set in the hobby, and the Messi is the grail, that Ronaldinho in high grade should be a grail as well, just considering, we talked about this before, but Ronaldinho only has one rookie, and then outside of that, his other releases are either really, really low in pop, or just not the best sort of cards or stickers. So for example, like the 2002 horizontal one he has with PSG, there's tons of those, and it doesn't really feel like a special sticker really. But when you look at the Megacracks card, that looks and feels like it should be something iconic and valuable. So I'm not surprised that it performs that well.
And I think that actually opens a window in the pre-modern market for one reason. If you think about because Ronaldinho have 2003 cards, that's actually the rookie season at Barcelona. But I don't think any cards on 2003 sold for this amount of money. So makes me believe, and could be me being too optimistic, but set collecting can actually be a thing, especially for Megacracks 2004, because think about this. Do you think at 2003 PSA 9, and I don't know the pop report from the top of my head, but you think a PSA 9, at 2003 PSA 9 Ronaldinho sells for that? I'm not sure, honestly. I think that was because people recognize that set, the 2004 set, as a super iconic set.
Yeah, I agree. They're putting a premium on the set value. If a 2003 came up in a high grade like a PSA 9, I don't think it would cross even 500.
Mm. And this again, like I was saying, this opens a new window in the pre-modern market because makes me believe that players like Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldo, the Brazilian one, on that set, David Beckham, Michael Owen, Luis Figo, all of those players can potentially be, again, no financial advice, as you guys know, but can potentially be a good buy right now if you can still find those in good condition that can potentially grade 8, 9s, and maybe even 10s.
Yeah, the thing on those is the fact that so few are either graded or are going to be in high grades, because at least with the Messi, there's, at least in my opinion, there'd be a high likelihood that even if people weren't into cards or card grading at the time, they would have kept it, and they would have kept it in a nice condition just because it still would have been known as a Messi rookie in 2004. And so the likelihood of those cards surviving is a lot higher than, say, one of the Beckham cards surviving in a high grade, or Zidane surviving in a high grade. And so I think those could be extremely low pop, and whenever you have that sort of supply shock on the market, things get really interesting.
The thing that can be a little bit tricky is I believe the Messi was an update. So there is a likely scenario there is more Ronaldinho, David Beckham than there is actually Lionel Messi. Of course, this is super relative. We don't know for sure. For example, if when they introduced the seven, in this case, the Bs, which means at the time in Spain was players that end up joining the team in January or around that, I'm not sure if that means that the other players end up appearing a little bit less, and for example, Ramos and Messi appearing a little bit more. So it's so difficult to say if Messi is more rare than David Beckham, or David Beckham could even be more rare, which I don't believe, by the way. But it's difficult to say what card can actually have more some type of true rarity, knowing that pops will be huge for those like Messi. I mean, Messi, if you count all the grading companies, is above 1K pop report, 1K pop total. I'm sorry. But we know that getting a PSA 9, a PSA 10, there is only 20. There is a little bit more BGS 9.95s, but still quite difficult to find. And I would expect the same for Ronaldinho, David Beckham, etc. on that set. But yeah, I think that, like I was saying, opens a very interesting window on the pre-modern market because. And by the way, one of my first videos, and you guys can check that on YouTube, was I believe the one of the biggest plays right now in the market is collecting sets. Again, is a very long run type of play without any type of doubt. But that sale for Ronaldinho, and I know Ronaldinho is a very special player, makes me believe that I was right 1 year ago, more or less. So I hope it's the case. But let's move on. Great answer. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this last video, but now I have a couple of things to share with you. If you want to support my work, joining Patreon tends to be the best way to do it, and apart from that, I give you exclusive content. I put a new Q&A every week, and I also make a podcast, extra audio, the name is up to you, on Saturday. So, exclusive content, you can interact with me very well there, and apart from that, I've been answering more than, in the last couple of months, and I'm answering more than 300 questions, which is quite crazy to think about. Again, if you like my content on YouTube, very likely scenario you end up loving my content on Patreon. To join the Patreon, you need to pay around $10, but that for some people can be a lot of money, and if that's the case, no problem at all. One thing that is totally free is my Discord server. We talk about the soccer card market, but specific about pre-modern there, and it's an amazing place to learn about the market. We are more than 400 members, and joining, like I said, if the Patreon $10 is a lot to you, the Discord is totally free, so there is no reason to not join my Discord. Check both links on the description, and see you guys the next time. Bye.